Of course, the foreign minister's speech at the UN Security Council coming against the backdrop of what's been happening in Afghanistan, where the Taliban is establishing full control, and the real fear as the Taliban tries to establish its control over that country is that Pakistan and Islamabad, some believe, could use the Taliban as a proxy. Terror groups backed by Pakistan, especially the Jaish, have been fighting alongside the militia for years now. We'll be joined in a moment by Hamid Mir, senior journalist from Islamabad. But first, take a look at a report that looks at the Taliban government's formation and the Pakistan government's role in it.
It's been a week since the Taliban walked into Kabul. But Afghanistan, and indeed the world, is yet to know what shape its government will take. All the Islamic extremist group has said so far is that the Sharia law will be imposed.
If we calculate it based on experience, maturity and insight, no doubt there is marked difference. The steps today will be positively different from the past steps.
Whatever Taliban does, many believe their benefactors, Pakistan, will have a role to play. From its formation in 1994 to its first stint in power, to the 20-year battle after 9/11 attacks, Pakistan has been the power behind Taliban. Sirajuddin Haqqani, a key leader of the Taliban and a big contender in the Kabul power race, is backed by the ISI. The Lashkar-e-Taiba, a terror outfit raised by the Pakistani military, has been fighting alongside the Taliban against the US and NATO since 2017. So does this mean the Taliban regime will be a proxy for Pakistan? Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan's lavish praise for the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan has betrayed their glee at the turn of events in Kabul.
ज़हनी गुलामी की जंजीरें तोड़ना ज्यादा मुश्किल होता है. जो अभी अफगानिस्तान में गुलामी की जंजीरें तो तोड़ दी उन्होंने, लेकिन जो ज़हनी गुलामी की जंजीरें वो नहीं टूटती.
India, meanwhile, is not rushing into a decision. Its primary focus is on evacuating its citizens from the troubled nation. It has already brought back its embassy staff.
Our focus is on ensuring the security in Afghanistan and the safe return of Indian nationals who are there. So that is really what has been very much the focus of my own engagements here.
The concerns for India are manifold. The big one remains terror. With fears that terror organizations like Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed would soon find safe havens in Afghanistan, India is worried. It suits Pakistan since Pakistan has been facing a lot of international heat for sponsoring terror aimed at India. While India is mulling options, she's not ready to open her cards just yet. In New Delhi, Geeta Mohan for India Today.
Let me go across straight to Hamid Mir, senior journalist and author, joins me from Islamabad. Appreciate your joining us, Mr. Mir. Hamid, the big question that is being asked in India is the role that Pakistan is now going to play in Afghanistan in the region, given the close connections that exist between Islamabad, Rawalpindi, GHQ and the new government of the Taliban in Kabul. How do you see this relationship between Kabul and Islamabad?
First of all, there is no government established yet in Kabul. The Taliban leader Anas Haqqani and others, they are busy in consultations with Gulbuddin Hikmatyar, Dr. Abdullah Abdullah and other people. And I think in coming few days, we may see interim government in Afghanistan or a new government in Afghanistan. Right now, there is no government in Afghanistan. Secondly, you just aired the clip of Mr. Jaishankar, and that was very important. And he was criticizing ISIS, Daesh, and he never criticized or he never condemned or said anything about Afghan Taliban. So your viewers in India should be aware. They should know that just 2 days ago, when Afghan Taliban they took over Kabul, So they broke Pul Charkhi jail in Kabul. And from Pul Charkhi jail, they released many Taliban leaders, including some Pakistani Taliban leaders who are loyal to Al-Qaeda. But the Afghan Taliban, they shot, they killed ISIS leaders who were also imprisoned in the same jail. They killed them at the spot, including Abu Umar Khurasani, who was the former head of ISIS Afghanistan. So you must realize that Afghan Taliban, they gathered support, they attracted support from Iran, from Russia, and from other countries by claiming that we are the only one in Afghanistan who can stop the rise of ISIS.
So are you telling me, Hamid Mir, that the Pakistani Taliban, and we can talk about the Tehreek-e-Taliban as well, but are you telling me that the existing leadership or the leadership that is emerging in Kabul is not a leadership which is proximate or a proxy of Islamabad, the likes of Sirajuddin Haqqani, the fact that Lashkar-e-Toiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed are seen to have a safe haven in Kabul? Is this not true?
I am not making statements. I am only sharing my information with you as a journalist. The person who was released by Afghan Taliban from Pul Charkhi jail in Kabul just 2 days ago, his name is, one of them is Maulvi Fakir Muhammad, who is wanted in Pakistan, who is involved in attacks against Pakistani security forces, who openly claims that he is a loyalist of Al-Qaeda. So he was released, and just few days back, the head of the Pakistani Taliban, Mufti Noor Wali Mahsood, he gave an interview to CNN. Nick Robertson did that interview on CNN, and Mufti Noor Wali Mahsood clearly said that we are fighting against the state of Pakistan, and he is hiding in the Kunar province of Afghanistan, and Maulvi Muhammad is his deputy. So yes, there are contacts between Afghan Taliban and the Pakistani establishment, but on the other side, the same Pakistani establishment, including Army Chief General Qamar Javed Bajwa and DGISI, they gave a closed-door briefing to the parliamentarians just few days before the takeover of Kabul, just few days before the fall of Kabul. They told the parliamentarians clearly that the Afghan Taliban are no more in our control, and there is no difference between Afghan Taliban and the Pakistani Taliban, and we cannot control them. So if you think that the Pakistan can control Afghan Taliban, you see this is not true, because Afghan Taliban they refused to participate in the Istanbul conference just a few weeks back. Pakistan tried their level best. Pakistan and America, they were forcing them not to take over Kabul by military force. Prime Minister Imran Khan wrote a column in Washington Post in June 2021 in which he clearly said that Afghan Taliban should not take over Kabul by military force. It will lead to the civil war. Now he is saying that Gulami ki zanjeerein tod di, to ya to pehle wali baat sahi, aaj wali baat sahi hai.
So are you saying that the Afghan Taliban is under the control of no one? Are you saying there are a lot of cracks within the Afghan Taliban, groups that are loyal to different leaders also? So it's not a unified group as such, and therefore therein lies the danger. We don't know who will be able to control them in the months and in the months ahead.
No, I'm not saying that. Afghan Taliban are very much a very well organized and united force, but they are not new Taliban. They are the same old Taliban with some new tactics. They have learned the art of diplomacy. They have learned the art of propaganda, how to mislead people. You see, last year they signed a peace agreement with the United States of America in Doha, and they promised that they will resolve the Afghan issue through negotiated settlement, but they occupied Kabul by military force. So there is difference between what they are saying and what they are doing. But as far as your Indian viewers are concerned, I must tell you that India and Afghan Taliban, they are in contact since last 1 year. Last year, Abbas Stanakzai, who is a Taliban negotiator, he met some Indian retired diplomats and some other people in Moscow. And just 2 weeks back, just a few days before the fall of Kabul, the Indian government had their a formal meeting with the Afghan Taliban in Doha, and just one day ago, yes, last evening, Zabihullah Mujahid was telling me that we have conveyed to the Indian embassy in Kabul that don't worry, we will take care of your safety, and don't worry, we will provide full protection to you.
So you're saying there are back channel talks which have taken place over a period of time between India and the Taliban, but I still want to understand. The fact is, Hamid Mir, that the fears in India, again going back to the old Taliban, is that they will export terror. They will be allowed to use they will allow their territory to be used by groups like the Jaish, by the Lashkar. You may remember the Kandahar hijacking of 2000, Hamid Mir. And the fear is that these groups have a lot of connections. They are supported, backed by an ISI, Afghan Taliban nexus, and therefore they will export terror. These are the fears today in India. Are they realistic fears or not?
It is not only India which should be worried. I already told you that Maulvi Fakir Muhammad, who was released from Kabul jail just 2 days back, he's an enemy of Pakistan. And plus, there are some other countries. Jindullah, which is active in the Iranian Balochistan, they are fighting against the state of Iran. They are allies of Afghan Taliban. Islamic Movement of Uzbekistan, which is fighting against the state of Uzbekistan, they are also the allies of Afghan Taliban. Then the Chinese Muslims, they are also, I know many Chinese Muslims who are part of the Afghan Taliban. Then there are Tajik Talibs, not from the Afghan Tajik side, but from the Tajikistan side. There are some militants from Tajikistan who are part of Afghan Taliban. Then there are Indians, there are Bangladeshis, there are people from Myanmar, there are some Arabs. So I think that the Afghan Taliban will have a big challenge in coming few days. It is not only India and Pakistan and Uzbekistan and Tajikistan and Iran and China and Bangladesh, but there are many other countries, including United States of America. And that's why the Afghan Taliban are trying to give an impression that they will not allow anyone to use the territory of Afghanistan to destabilize any other country. But this is very difficult because there is evidence that a lot of foreign militants, they are not hiding in Afghanistan, but they are part of the Afghan Taliban.
So are we seeing, Hamid Mir, in some form a revival of this sort of global, a sort of global Islamic terror coalition, some would call it, an Al-Qaeda in a way? Are we seeing, while we'll have the Afghan Taliban in government, are we seeing once again the possibility of a revival of a terror threat to the world, to India, you are saying to Pakistan, and indeed the world?
No, I will not jump on any conclusion, but I am only sharing my information with you as a journalist. But I think that if the world, international community, India, Pakistan, all the regional players, if they engage Taliban and they try to force them to implement the Doha Agreement, and I think that Taliban are also interested in getting legitimacy from the international community. So if we can engage them,
but can you engage, sorry to intervene, can you engage a group which, as you yourself are saying, is a group which in a way uses violence, is a group which clearly poses a threat to peace?
Yeah, you are right. But you see, the same group which was declared terrorist by United States, terrorist by United Nations, they signed a peace agreement with them. And United Nations they facilitated Mullah Ghani brother and many other leaders.
Right.
They facilitated them to travel to all over the world, and they were having meetings with everyone. So they engaged them. So I think that if America can engage them, and I think it's my personal opinion that the outcome is not very positive,
right.
but still we should engage them. We should not. We cannot fight them right now. Who will attack Taliban now? Because the Taliban are all over Afghanistan, and if you attack from China side, from Iran side, from Uzbekistan, from Tajikistan, from Pakistan, there will be a civil war. So the war is not a solution. So you have to use your diplomacy. You have to use your contacts with them, and you must try to convince them to come into the mainstream international politics.
One final quick answer. Do you see the ISI reports in India that the ISI GHQ are celebrating? Are those reports true or not?
You see, I am not a spokesperson of Pakistan Army, and I don't have.
No, you're not. I'm giving you. I want information. Is it true that there is a upbeat mood?
I already shared my information with you that just few weeks back, the Pakistani Army Chief and the Director General of the ISI, he gave a briefing to the Pakistani parliamentarians, and they said that Afghan Taliban are not in our control. But on the other side, Prime Minister Imran Khan and some of his ministers, they are giving an impression that they are very happy over the fall of Kabul. So this is a big contradiction. The briefing which was given to the parliamentarians by the security establishment is different, and the reaction of Prime Minister Imran Khan and some of his ministers after the fall of Kabul is different. So this is a contradiction, and it will become a big challenge for Pakistan in coming few days.
Very interesting, Hamid Mir. Getting your perspective as a journalist who's reported on this region for a very long time. As always, appreciate your joining us and bringing that perspective to our Indian viewers. Hamid Mir joining me from Pakistan.